Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 3. This is Paul Sains with Insane Sports Podcast. As we get started today, make sure you click that like button. Go ahead and subscribe and notify yourself for every episode that we're going to have each and every Monday. So, look, this episode, we're going to keep it short and sweet. I'm going to call this Heated Mondays, all right? Because I'm pissed. All right, if we tuned into the last episode, we know that my predictions were that we were going to lose this game. And that's what happened. The reasons of us losing wasn't the reasons that I thought we were going to lose. And that's what's so frustrating about it. Being so close to being 5-2 sounds better than being 4-3 right now. But this episode, I really want to focus on right now is not the time to sweat Stefanski. I'm telling you, it is not the time. And I've been big on his play calling. I'm big on Stefanski and moving forward with him starting into the next year. I hear the chatters around talking about Schwartz stepping up and being an interim head coach as well. But let's just stick to Stefanski. All right. He's dealing with 3 different quarterbacks that he's had to start out this season with already. All right, starting out with Deshaun Watson, we finally saw a game that seemed promising, but that was about it. After that, we brought in DTR, short notice, and he came in against a rival team, and a rival team that also has a top-tier defense, and he showed that he was still a rookie. All right, then we bring in PJ Walker. PJ Walker seemed like he could hold down the fort. He could make a few plays that counted when we needed them. But he also has been showing each week that he can also lose the game. And that's the problem that we're dealing with. We're dealing with quarterbacks we don't have trust in. Stefanski can't call a play and have trust. He's going to deliver on this play that I call no matter what. So he's calling plays to try to simplify everything. That's not to the point that's an advantage for the other team's defense. All right, you're dealing with high-level intelligence when we get to the NFL. So, yes, we can simple it down to you, but once you start understanding formations, there's only so many plays that you can run out of these certain formations. So let's not get so carried away with fire Stefanski, all right? And I'm one of those first people to tell you I am not the biggest fan of him calling plays. But let's not get overboard with this. We haven't had a coach that's had us in this position. Even to be 4-3 or being close to 5-2 with all of these different rotations at quarterback, I think that if it was a different face there, and I mean at quarterback, if it was a different face at the coaching position, I don't think we would be having this uproar. But of course, we have fans that's never satisfied. We have fans that think they can call a perfect game. But I'm here to tell you, the plays were there to be made. All right, Stefanski was dialing up a few different calls that I was just like, hey, I can't get mad at him. PJ Walker has to make the throw. There's only so many times that you can lean on the running back. And I'm a run-heavy type of person, especially when you have a running class like Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, and Jerome Ford, who I'm big on, who also played and wasn't supposed to play yesterday with the high ankle sprain. All right. And people don't, if you've never had a high ankle sprain, you won't get how difficult it is to actually come back and play on a high ankle sprain. That just sounds like a twisted ankle, but trust me, it is very difficult to do. Stefanski is working with what he has. All right. So, again, let's not get carried away of let's fire the coach. Now, moving into the next week, we're going to have to find some different change at the quarterback position because it's too frightening. This season is still salvageable. You feel what I'm saying? We're not too far gone when you're sitting at 4-3. We're in a good position, and I think we're ranked second in the division. If I'm not incorrect on that, I think Ravens is first. We're second, but we have to pay attention moving forward that the plays are there to be made. PJ just has to make a couple of few throws to make it happen. Let me give you an example. We came out on defense and we started slow. It's starting to seem like a little habit of ours that The team goes down and marches down on us, and we have to kind of settle down to figure ourselves out and figure out the game plan from there. So Seattle went down there, and it seemed like they scored pretty easy, and it was what I thought it was going to be. I'm like, okay, we're going to have to stop Geno. We popped off with Lockett going crazy on us. Okay, now Lockett is somebody that I'm like, he's a sleeper, and I don't know why still late in his career he's still being slept on. He shows that he's a prominent receiver, and he can do what he needs to get done to get the first downs and get touchdowns. All right, so you need to figure out where Lockett is on the field, and we took away DK Metcalf for most of the game. Besides, I think a 50-yard catch that showed up to be a big play when they needed a big play. We needed a big stop. They were able to make those plays on offense. So my example going back to our offense is making the plays when they're there to be made. Okay, you can look at every offensive player over there, and nobody really had a breakout game that was showing like, okay, this person broke off of the charts for the Seahawks. But they made the plays when they needed to be made. They made the plays when they need to be made. We have to make those plays, those third downs. Now, P.J. Walker, prior to this game, has made some big plays that needed to be made, fourth downs that needed to be made. This yesterday, and even when he was making those plays, I'm like, he's just not making me feel comfortable about him making those plays. He's not making me feel comfortable of being in that position where he has to make that play. So, with that being said, we have to bring in somebody. I was a big fan of Dobbs as a backup. I used to say MVP Dobbs. I used to say Dobbs for president. That was my guy. He's not giving actually the Arizona Cardinals wins, but what he is doing is giving them a fighting chance. Now, it looks like they're trying to tank anyway, so he's not in the best situation over there as well. And I don't think when Kyler Murray gets back, he's going to put them in an even better position either. But when you're dealing with the Dobbs or you're dealing with Brissett, you're dealing with somebody that actually knows the team, and then we're bringing somebody back in with the team chemistry. This is all about team chemistry at this point because these boys are ready to play. They can smell a championship. They feel close to one, and they feel like if we're not going to get it now, then when? All right, we've had rosters where we were good enough to go to the bowl on paper. But this team, you're dealing with a championship-type defense, and I believe defense still win championships. All right, now, what I was disappointed in yesterday was having that championship defense on the field. I felt very comfortable that they weren't going to let the Seahawks just march down the field and score a touchdown to go ahead of us 4 points. All right, so when they were marching down the field, I felt somewhere in there we're going to get a stop. But it seems as though we give up a lot of big plays, all right? The big plays that we like, okay, just all we got to do is keep them in front of us, make a few tackles. We seem to forget how to tackle near the end of the fourth quarter. I'm not sure what's going on there. It seems like we have to be dominant all the way to the end. They did a good job of trying to isolate Myles Garrett with getting the ball out quick. And with that being said, I'm looking for Za'Darius to really step up. All right, when you have Myles Garrett jumping off the charts, and we know it's just a matter of time, Myles Garrett is going to show up and have a big play. I'm looking for Za'Darius to pop off of the screen. I don't see a time where he just is pushing something that okay, I'll give you. He does okay on the run stop. I can see that, but we had that in Jadeveon Clowney. All right, Jadeveon Clowney was able to stop the run. So I'm looking for Z to be this dominant force. If Myles Garrett was out, Z is the man. He's supposed to be the man. I need to see more from Za'Darius, and that's something that I'm calling for him to do, to step up during those times in the fourth quarter, to not let the Seahawks drive all the way down the field. And that's not just to send shots at the D-line, because the DBs at the end of the day, we needed better from them. We needed better from them. All right, and I'm big on Juan Thornhill before the season, and what he's came over to do has been real quiet. All right, putting people in position and people knowing exactly where to go who to check and what to do during their job is something that I didn't see from John Johnson last year. All right. So when we bring him into the case and you start to look at Juan Thorhill and he's not jumping off the charts as far as you hearing his name called a lot, it's for a reason. He's doing his job back there. He's making sure we're not giving up deep bombs like we did last year against the Jets when there was nobody back there to be found. It's not too many times that there's a lot of miscommunication on the field. So we need to understand everybody has their job to do, and they might not be popping off the charts, but that's a good thing. Now, somebody that is popping off the charts is my boy Delpit. We have to give some, I'm talking about clap it up for Delpit. Clap it up for Delpit. He's playing at a Pro Bowl level, and something that came out of college that they said he is not a sure tackler. Well, I can't tell. Because when that boy is coming down, he is bringing hell. All right? Delpit is nice, y'all. Delpit is everything as advertised. He looks like the best DB that came out of college during the time in which he was. He looks in prime form right now, all right? So Delpit is somebody that is starting to get his mojo. He knows who he is in the NFL right now. You can see the way he carries himself on the field. He carries himself like, yeah, I'm that dog. And that's what we need. I'm that dog. The Wusus that walk around like I'm that dog. All right? So I'm not going to go so hard on the defense because I think that they've carried us a lot. They've carried us so much that you can't just put it all on the defense. It's going to be a time that you need the offense to step up and make plays. All right, and Ebony, yes, give credit where it's due. My boy did what he needed to do. He stepped up to the plate. Delpit is going up there. I'm talking about he's eliminating tight ends. I've watched him come up and check Kittle by himself. All right, I don't need no help back here. I got this man manned up. He's coming up checking people like he's a primetime corner. I love everything about Delpit. If you haven't seen what I'm telling you, that's on tape. Go ahead and pull up the tape and go see what Delpit's been doing this year, flying around. I'm talking about tackles in the backfield, everything. Everything. We're playing fast and physical. Now, I am going to get on Newsome. Newsome is somebody that wants to be paid high, just like my boy Denzel Ward. All right. He thinks he's the guy. He believes he's the guy. He believes he's the $100 million man, and actually had a problem with the last coach because the last coach was making him play nickel. He felt like I'm an outside corner. You got me playing nickel. And then this year, I don't know, Will Schwartz came in and said, Tony probably told him, hey, I don't care what you want to play. If you want to get on this field, you're going to play nickel. Which is understandable. But he seemed to have a change of thought this year when it came to playing nickel. And one thing I want to say about him is humble yourself right now, okay? Humble yourself. You are not Ward. You are not Denzel Ward. I do think you're a decent player and somebody that does have a lot of potential to even improve more. You're playing in the slot, which is not an easy position to play, all right? You were playing against an elite slot player in Tyler Lockett, who's somebody I don't think that people give credit to. All right, so I'm not going to just sit up there and throw jabs at you. But when you're not being dominant, shutting down that player, you're not somebody that has takeaways and interceptions, and somebody that's really being a breakout player on the team, you can't sit up here and decide where you're going to play on that field. All right? And I'm talking to you. I'm talking to Newsome. You cannot decide when you're going to show up on the field and where you're going to go. That boy Emerson needs no help out there. Emerson needs no help out there. I've watched Emerson lock up DK Metcalf. I've watched him lock up Mike Evans. And all of these big receivers that people tend to have issues with, he is taking away. T. Higgins, name them. Who you want to name? He's taking them. He's eliminating them. That interception yesterday, oh my goodness. He ran the route for him. Textbook. Something that I noticed about him coming out, because I do follow his trainer, is his technique is superior, especially for his size. His size. Sometimes you get people at that size that's like a Richard Sherman. They try to compare people to a Richard Sherman who played a lot of cover three. All right. who played a lot of cover 3, that had them safeties over the top. You knew Earl was back there flying around. If you throw it deep, it better be a perfect pass. But you got this man that's pressing up. He playing man on man, big on big. All right? He needs to be mentioned with the big dog. So let's give it up to Emerson. All right, clap it up for Emerson doing this goddamn thing. He's on that island. We need to give him an island with War Island. Them boys are locking up, and I'm not hearing. And that's the thing with Cleveland, and that's why we have this show to give recognition to these players that's not getting that national attention. Because you got Jalen Ramsey that came back with a Xavier who's still out. When they get back, they're going to be something to deal with. But we name all of these different playmakers out here in these corners. But Emerson is somebody I'm not seeing being mentioned enough. Emerson is the elite of the elite. Elite of the elites. He will get that bag. So Newsome, take something from Emerson. Be humble. Go out there and make a few plays. We still looking for an interception. Your boy almost got an interception, Mitchell, before you did. All right, Mitchell. I don't know if it's a Northwestern thing. I don't know what's up with them hands, but he was supposed to be the one that catches those. And bringing that up, we have a whole completely different game if Mitchell catches that interception. We put away the game, y'all. So we need these. We have to come up with those plays at the end of the game. Yes, the defense has been carrying us. Yes, we need more competent QB play. But, and I put a big but, when you are the Dolls and you talking about you the best in the world, they screaming, we're the best in the world, we're the best in the world, then you want to be the last person that's out there on the field because they not marching down there. They can't score on us because we're the best in the world. All right, so defense, like I said, I don't want to drill y'all and put so much on y'all, but y'all are not out of this blame as well, especially with Schwartz. I believe that the Seahawks had a great game plan. All right, they had a great game plan moving forward. I thought that they were able to isolate Myles Garrett as much as you can because Myles Garrett is going to get off. All right, when you have a great player like that you know is going to wreck the game, they're going to be a disruption. You have to try ways to try to slow them down, getting the ball out quick, trying quick screens, getting plays to where you can get this man and take him out of the game. He's not effective. Geno did a good job of actually moving out of the pocket to extend himself and extend time for him to throw the ball down the field, and he was finding those open men. What was getting so frustrated is when you was finding P.J. Walker being able to flush the pocket and extend time, he couldn't find no one down the field. I'm not sure what he's looking at, but I was going back into the film and was like, he doesn't seem comfortable and on the same page as the receivers to throw certain balls because these players are open. And we saw the same thing with Baker Mayfield when it was like, hey, this person is going right in front of you, throw the check down. He's right in front of you. I saw when he threw the pass to Amari Cooper to the right, there was Elijah Moore coming across the field. And I'm talking about for a split second, he could have just dumped it to him. And I believe Elijah Moore could have walked in for a touchdown or made a move and dove forward. It would have been a touchdown in my eyes. But we're missing certain throws. I can't put that on Stefanski. So, again, I'm not here to say, hey, Stefanski needs to lose his job. We're sitting at 4-3, and I can't be too upset right now, all right? Going into this next game, we have to win. All right? We have to win. Now, I'm out here in Arizona, and we've been losing to the Cardinals. It's been frustrating. We have to win this game. I'm not sure if Kyler Murray is coming back. They said that they're not sticking to Dobbs with starting coming up this year, and I think they're getting ready to trade him, get something for him because he showed enough that he can go somewhere and help. And a landing spot for him, I would think, would be the Vikings. The Vikings seems to be a great landing spot for him. Now, what I'm telling Andrew Berry, and I thought he would have did today, go get Brissett. Jacoby needs to be in the building. Okay, the teammates love him. Cleveland loves him. You bring Brissett back here and let him hold down the fort because he can do it. Brissett has showed that he's able to hold it down, and he knows how to find Amari Cooper. I don't think we need much. Yes, we're missing the best running back in football, but bring that boy back. All right, bring that boy back. Let him hold down the fort until Deshaun Watson is healthy, and I'm gonna get to Deshaun Watson. But yeah, okay, Ebony, I see you saying that they might be starting the rookie. The rookie, let's bring him back. Let's see what he got. At the end of the day, you could still put in P.J. Walker. All right, he threw 3 picks. They both threw 3 picks. What's the difference? P.J. Walker would have had 6 picks if the Seahawks could catch, but they both threw 3 picks. So, what are we really? We're not really losing anything by putting DTR back in there and letting that man get some experience, because the best experience is being out there on the field, and that's getting game time experience. So, yes, I'm not opposed to him going out there. I'm not opposed for him to go out there and actually play. Oh, you speaking on Arizona starting their rookie. They have nothing to lose. Go out there and start your rookie. Go out there and start your rookie and see what you got for the future, because Kyler Murray is your future. But just in case if he gets hurt, what do you have behind him? Because we know that Dobbs is just a temporary person filling in. I don't think that we would be able to pick up Dobbs just based off of Arizona letting him come to us while we play them this upcoming week. It doesn't make sense for them to really send Dobbs over here. He has the playbook. He can tell us what they have going on over there. Tell us the defense, what he's seeing at practice. Doesn't just make sense. But Brissett, go ahead and bring that man back. Deshaun Watson. Let me get some water for this. Deshaun Watson. I was talking to somebody at football. I was, I play flag out here in Arizona. It was somebody that walked up to me. He said some disturbing things about Deshaun Watson. I guess he put on himself. That's a whole nother topic. But he came up and he started saying, what's up with Deshaun Watson? I'm like, what do you mean? He said, well, the doctors are saying he's cleared to play. And, you got people out here that's playing. I said, one thing I won't do is test Deshaun Watson's will to play football. Okay, you went through all of this hell to get out there on the field. You got the guaranteed money. I think the last thing he wants to do is to be off the field. All right, so I'm not going to question that man as an athlete and his integrity of playing football. That's what he does. That's what he's been doing. I'm a fan of Deshaun Watson, of watching him since college, actually high school, hearing his names come up throughout high school, being one of those premium quarterbacks, and actually seeing him whoop up on Ohio State and sending me home crying because we were so close to winning the national championship, and Deshaun Watson killed our dreams. So seeing Deshaun Watson be this elite quarterback for all of these times, and right now having a hard time and struggling, I'm sure the last thing he wants to do is be off the field. Now, the doctor's job is to make sure that you're able to play. Okay, they don't care about the results in which you play, but are you able to? Can they get you out there on the field? All right, if you're walking and talking, they're going to put you out there on that field. So Deshaun Watson might be cleared to play. He might be cleared to play, but let me tell you something about him. He is not healthy enough to play and to play at the level of performance he feels like he can play. We saw a quarterback get out there and try to fight this out. All right, we've seen this before. I'm not sure of why we want to see this same thing play out. When we seen a quarterback go out there, try to be tough and tough it out, and we judged him based off of his performance, not based off of him being injured, but based off of what he displayed on the field. Deshaun Watson would be judged accordingly. He would be judged accordingly to his play, not judged accordingly to his injuries. So if you got a $230 million investment, you're going to make sure that you're getting the best out of that. You're not going to drive that to the ground. You know what I mean? If you got a Maserati sitting in a garage and it need brakes, you don't just keep driving that Maserati until the brakes go down into the rotors and then it messes up everything else. You're going to make sure you sit that Maserati on ice so when you step out on the street, it look like that Maserati that you spent that cash on. All right? Deshaun Watson is a Maserati. Despite how he's been playing, all right, and we're still holding on to Deshaun Watson resumes to his premium play, but Deshaun Watson is a Maserati. You put that thing up in the garage until it's ready. All right, so going into this next game, I don't want to take too much of y'all time. I'm going to give my score predictions. I got the Browns winning. And for some reason, something is telling me the offense is going to pop off this game. We are playing at home. The crowd's going to be into it. And I just think that we're going to feed off of that. I think the defense is going to come ready. I got them scoring 10 points. All right. I think we're going to see a dominance out of this defense. I got them sitting at 10 points. I got us at 31. All right. We're going to score 31 points. There's going to be some field goals involved. We're going to be able to bust open some of them runs. And another thing, I don't want to get out of here before talking about Strong, somebody that stepped up in that running back room. I have a group chat with all of my cousins and family members, and we talk about the Browns. And my cousin Pete is so big on he's so big on Strong. He feels so he feels so strongly on Strong that he's not the man. He's not the guy. But a stat that came up yesterday is we were averaging 6 yards a carry as a whole. All right, and Strong was busting that thing open. I like his fresh legs. I like what he could do. He has a little giddy up to him. He has a different dynamic. Something I haven't seen Ford be able to do is to hit that cutback. All right, like these other running backs do. Something Chubb does so beautifully, hits that cutback. Something Hunt does, hits that cutback. Strong is able to come in there, read the line, and hit that cutback and get big yards. Ford is still trying to press that hole, find that hole. If that hole isn't there, he doesn't really look for that cutback. So that's something I think that if he develops that to his game, we're talking about an even better player. All right, so I don't want to get out here talking about Strong. I got us at 31-10. We're going to win this next game. It's a home game. The crowd's going to be involved. The defense is going to step up. Stefanski is getting used to calling some of these plays, and he is starting to get an understanding of what P.J. Walker is and what he isn't. All right, P.J. Walker is somebody that was thrown into these games. And again, you're not getting preseasons. You're not getting snaps with the first team. That's all going to affect you when you're going into these games. So with all of that being said, let's not tear the place apart, or not just yet. Let's not tear this place apart yet. Kevin Stefanski is steering this ship in the right direction, y'all. All right, we might have hit a few different bumps and bruises right here and there, but Kevin Stefanski is doing what he needs to do. All right, so look, going into this next game, let's keep a positive mindset. I know today should feel like victory. It should be Victory Monday. Like I said, this is heated Mondays for me. I've been pissed off all day. But with positive things going into this next game, we have a lot of things to look at. We're still the best defense in the world. All right. You still have Myles Garrett over there. We have a lot of our players healthy as far as on that defensive side. We have a lot of promise going into these games. So keep your head up, y'all. And I hope y'all enjoy your week. Go Browns, go Dogs. And I'll catch y'all next week.